I was president in 2006-07, and in 07, Katrina hit New Orleans, and the International Convention for Rotary was to be in New Orleans. And they switched it to Salt Lake. That's how Salt Lake got it. They were scrambling to find a spot.
We had some of the events up in Park City.
Yeah, we sure did.
At the Yarrow.
At the Yarrow, at the Olympic Park, they had ski jumpers going into the pool and the whole shebang. All these international folks were loving it, just having a great time. It worked real well, and it really introduced our club to the international spirit of it all. Sometimes we get so local, but we're bigger than local. It is interesting to see all the different aspects of Rotary, and they have clubs for everything you can think of, from beer drinking to skiing.
They have an aviation club.
And they're international. That was just amazing to experience that whole thing, and everybody's there having a great time just because of the common bond. You really felt it there on the international level.
I think there's a club for everything.
There's 100 different clubs, a list of them in alphabetical order if you go on the Rotary website. Some really strange stuff too. One classic Rotary meeting that stands out in my mind at Rotary Park, we had Bart the bear, that grizzly bear.
Doug Seuss was his owner.
He brought him in on a leash. One guy holding a leash. Everybody was just in awe looking at this bear right there in our midst.
Hans, you used to do the food, didn't you, for the Rotary at the park?
Yeah. Somebody went to the store and bought a bunch of buns and some skinny hamburger patties, and nothing was refrigerated.
Nobody ever got sick that I'm aware of.
I did a little bit of feeding Rotarians.
Yeah.
Now we have a catering company who does it, and they do a great job and generate some revenue for somebody. It created more cohesiveness when we all pitched in and did the manual labor. Not that I'm saying that was better, it's just different.
Did any of you guys ever take any trips for the Rotary Club? Mexico or?
Yeah.
Which one did you go on?
We did one to Mexico, to Parral. I took 11 Interact kids with me, and then did one to Belize and to this town called Orange Walk. After it was over, they said, don't stop in Belize City. I said, okay. I got a plane, flew me over to this island called Ambergris Cay. And you had to take water taxis everywhere. Didn't have any roads, and a lot of golf carts.
So what was your project when you went to these?
In Parral, we helped the Tarahumara Indians who wandered down from living in caves into Parral, and they couldn't speak Spanish and they couldn't speak English, and it was a mess, and they lived in the city dumps. Wow. The Catholic Church was really helping them a lot, and we came in and helped even more. And then I took some of the Interact kids and said, okay, this isn't part of the tour, but let's go to the dumps. It's unbelievable where they were living in this dump, and it's not a dump like here. It's steam and smoke coming up, and they're out there trying to salvage things.
So what did you build, houses or toilets?
We helped them get clean water. You can't believe where these people were living. I got some pictures. I forgot about that. They gave me a nice thing from the Parral Rotary Club. One girl, she said, I'll never gripe about not having the latest iPhone again. And then in Belize, we ended up building really nice bathrooms for this school. Meet You White was in charge of that. We did good with the bathrooms and spending time with them. The Belize people said, come on, we'll take you up to this historical site. And we went 27 miles up this river, and there's Mayan ruins and monkeys, howling monkeys that scary. They howl so loud. And this guy's giving us a tour, and I go, you ever have any Mormons come here? And he goes, yeah. How did you know? And there was all these Mormons on the group with us, and I said, Lamanites. When Jesus walked the Americas, and supposedly it was Mormon Lamanites there, I said, I can't believe none of you guys know this, and I know it. It was fascinating. It was a great trip, and I stopped for a few days at Hamburg is Key. By myself on the way home, I came this close to having a fight with a bunch of locals. I was so stupid. I had this fancy watch, and I didn't think about it, and I was walking into this little town where there's no real roads, and a bunch of the young guys came behind me and giving me. I couldn't understand why, but it upset me. I turned around and went at them. They all got scared. It freaked them out. They took off before I could get into a fight. Then the next day I'm walking on the beach and this guy says, nice watch. And I went, dummy.
Yeah.
They saw that and saying,
I thought
smoking
it was-
your big cigar. It was fascinating. It was a great trip.
The one thing I remember doing is hosting some Rotary exchange, and it wasn't just young people, it's just people in a different Rotary Club. Do we still do that? Still 3 or 4 or 5 people from Great Britain. It was really interesting because you get to know them and show them around, and I thought that's quite cool.
Did you fly people around, huh?
Yeah, I did a couple times.
Ollie Buchanan used to do that too.
Where did you go when you flew?
I flew them down to Moab.
Was it a tour?
I just wanted to show them a different part of the state of Utah. Dropped them off down there, and they rented a car and drove through different parts. That was cool. And I know Christina Mello still does a fair amount. That's the international part of my experience with Rotary. I have to admit, I never take the time to go to a Rotary Club when I travel.
So Jim, how did Cindy take to being a Rotary aunt early on?
It wasn't as offensive as Debbie felt. It wasn't taken wrong. Today, people would take it wrong. It was an era where it was on the cusp. What about Joanne?
Well, they went along with it. You
Went
know,
with the flow, and
They had a sense of humor about it.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
And
exactly.
So they kidded with each other and just made fun with it. And that all went away when women started to come into Rotary.
yeah.
Like you said, it's a good.
Yeah.
Speaking of women coming into Rotary, I don't know if you guys were at the meeting when Blair Fulner came out as a woman
I was there.
at the grub stake,
Yeah, I
and he's so well spoken, and he did a beautiful job of it, and everyone was just absorbing it. It was way cool. I thought that's a lot of guts to be able to do that.
Especially after all of us at one point have been interviewed by Blair on KPC.
Yeah.
The same Blair.
It wasn't,
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of fun.
No, it was not.
It would have been better if he had a dress on when he interviewed.
Well, and Don Gomes,
Yeah, Don.
the April Fool's edition, he interviewed me in the bathroom at my house. And we flushed the toilet.
You were involved with the parade early on, weren't you?
We took it over, but I still am.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I go up at 8 in the morning, I chalk it off. And you know what would really help when we make the applications for the parade? We should be asking, are you going to have music? Because we get back-to-back music sometimes. They're fighting each other. No, that's not working. So I chalk it all off, and I go up and start them off and run the parade from the top there. Your worst fear is parade gap. This 4th of July, did you notice
Oh,
it?
yeah. I watched the race. What's going on here? There's a half-a-mile gap here.
Like stop and start.
There are
Some people, they just don't get it.
Well, they do their little routine and then they end up chatting with people. And next thing you know,
Exactly. Next thing you know, they can't see the person in front of
Yeah.
them.
So it's not just the Rotary Parade. It's
Yeah.
4th of July.
But that's, I'm always up there talking to whoever's driving, saying, keep a close distance here. That's important. We always seem to get about 35 to 40 entries. And it's all local, and it's always fun, especially
Wait,
in
Mike?
election.
Do we take political floats in Rotary?
Yeah, they have to pay more.
So Jess, when you restarted the parade, did you have to go get the drilling and mucking people? Or?
No, that wasn't that hard to do. The hardest thing we had to do for entries was a marching band. Park City didn't have a band that marched, and didn't seem to be interested. And Lagoon has a marching band, and we hired them. We had to pay them. And then years later, the high school got a marching band, and we'd have them there and make a big fuss over them.
Didn't we have a problem with the drilling and mucking? There was
Yeah,
something insurance
liability.
or liability. Or
And how do you qualify the contestants? Because you got to know what you're doing, or it's going to be
Well,
ugly.
Rich Martinez used to win everything.
He won every year.
Because he knew how to run the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
About the only person that did.
Well, he was in charge of the Ontario mine. I'll never forget, he told me, Jess, it cost $1 million a year to keep this mine open and get the water out. The old miner was what he went by.
The mucking and drilling, we're lucky to still have it, just because of the liability insurance issues and fewer miners to pull from. It's still a great entertainment.
It's going to be silly to have a miners' day without any miners.
Yeah.
At some point.
What else?
I really got into the finances when I was president. We didn't have any idea how much money we had, and we haven't had trouble since then. We just give it away every year.
There's plenty of programs to go out. Scholarships and national
Yeah.
funds. It's not hard to get rid of the money anymore.
I flew Michi and Tom Clyde to see the equivalent of the Follies in Steamboat Springs. I still remember, it was hilarious.
Wow.
That's where the whole Follies thing started. When I had Steve, Michi taught her first few lessons outside of Steve when they taught the disabled vets. You all know Michi. Before I knew it, I was feeding spaghetti dinners to this and that. When she left, she asked me to join the board because the then executive director was exactly setting the world on fire. And I've been involved with the NAC one way or the other since it started. She is done not just for the NAC, but she puts her mind to anything.
Yeah.
She'll get it done. Michi joined after I did. I remember when she was president.
It was her show.
She's quite a power woman. I was in her office and she was on the phone with some contractor and said, we need a new driveway. You'll get that done next week, right? Guy showed up and poured the driver and never saw a bill for it. That's just Michi's way of doing business. She learned a lot from Jim Gaddis. They're
Cut out of the same cloth.
yeah, exactly. Jim will come to you and say, "You'll do that, right?"
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how we built Rotary Park,
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
We went
Let's
out
get it
and
done.
got
Yeah.
stuff from people that donated. Put
And
the
done
strong
by the
arm on
Rotary.
Willie Gursky for all the bricks
Yeah.
and the lumber for the bathroom and for the little gazebo.
And look at it now. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Joe Rometta, the contractor to build it.
Yeah.
And, Berlin Jacobson to do the plumbing.
Well, here we are, and here we go. Nice talking to everybody. Adios, amigos. And as they say in Spanish, hasta luego.